Well, hello chaps and chapettes. Thank you for joining me on this video where I'm going to talk about an old game which I've only just recently played. When I say old, I don't mean like chess old. I mean like 12, 13 years ago. And that game will be the first edition of Zombicide. Not the second edition, not the Black Plague edition, not the DC or the superhero Marvel one. No, this is the first edition, which I've been playing a lot over the past 6 months due to the fact that there's someone in the house that is enjoying it. And that would be my 7-year-old son. And you know what? That enjoyment is infectious. And so I'm going to do a review ramble or rambling review basically about this game and talk about some of the rules and some of the things which work, some of the things that don't work. This game is not perfect. That's why they keep, changing it and bringing out new versions. The new versions are just like other skins, which will hopefully appeal to you, like what they've just done with the DC one, where that appeals to me because I'm a DC fan. But now I've played this, I want the DC version as well now. Yeah, you can use this video, even though this is an older version of the game, you can use this video as like a kind of way of seeing how these new games work, because I don't think the rules change that too much between each iteration. I mean, the first version, the second edition, the Black Plague, there's just theme and maybe a few little tweaks and niggles. But as I said, you could probably use this rambling video, which is what I'm doing right now, just to, point you in the direction whether it's a game for you or not. So I will stop rambling and just say to you that I think this game is my cup of tea.
This video was made possible with the help of Game Toppers. Upgrade your gaming experience with a Game Topper.
But before I go any further, I need to talk to you about my history with Zombicide. So when Zombicide hit Kickstarter in about 2011, 2012, I was not interested, 1, by the price, 2, by the game mechanics, and 3, by the hype. This just seemed to be like a wow, and everyone was backing it, and I was like, oh God's sake, how shallow we are as gamers. So yeah, I've avoided this game as well. I've never played it. I've never had the chance to play it. My good friend Guillaume, who backs a lot of the Cool Mini or Not stuff, happened to have a lot of Zombicide at his house. He's got so much at his house that he gave me all of his first edition. So I have now his Angry Neighbors, his Toxic City, the Prison Outbreak, the base game, and the Rue Morgue, which I can't remember what it is. Oh no. So yes, it is a lot of money and a lot of material, and it will take up a lot of your space. And it's like, but you know what happened? My son turned 7 and we played Heroescape and he nailed that, but the problem was with a game like that, a dungeon crawl like that, is it's me against him. And if he lost a hero because they died and he didn't look after them, he would get upset and cry and whinge and everything. But I found that playing cooperative games, which this is, he was a lot better. So I suggested that I test Guillaume's Zombicide with him and my son, and he said, you know what, I'll give you this whole lot. So I'm very, very, very lucky to be given this game with all its expansions, well, most of its expansions. But again, talking about this version of the game might interest you in a newer version of the game, so you don't have to look around for a friend who's going to send this to you, but you may see a Kickstarter or you may see it in your store and think, okay, this game is possibly something that I would like to add to my collection, because I know that playing it with this person will be the best time of our life. And it has become that. We've played, to this date, it's 2025, we started playing the end of last year, 2024. We've played 18 times, just me and my 7-year-old, because number one, the rules are very simple. They are like a kind of step up from Hero Quest, but they're not too complex. And because we are playing together against the game, things run smoother as we talk about plans and what we're going to do. Obviously, with the 7-year-old, they don't have like the greatest tactical knowledge, and so it's like me installing this knowledge on him. And there will be the occasional moment when one of our heroes dies, and then there's like, ooh, the tension and maybe the tears and the grumpy, I don't like this game. But it doesn't last that long with this game. With other games, yeah, when you're kicking your son's ass or your kid's ass, they are always going to be, oh, God, I don't like this game anymore. And I think that's what's happened with the rest of my family. They don't like it when they lose against me, but hey ho. So yeah, a brief overview of what Zombicide is. Zombicide is just a cooperative, slightly tactical game where you have an objective from a scenario, and you are going to go across the board and do these things like pick up something or activate something and then get to a certain point. And as the game goes on and you start killing zombies, you become slightly more powerful, but the zombies come in greater numbers, and the game mounts the pressure on you to a point where it's like, oh, are we going to do this or not? And most of my games, we've managed to be successful. Maybe lost a hero or two, but hey. The game works with an action point system, where basically each character that you have has 3 action points, and they can spend them to either move to an adjacent location or to attack zombies from either distance or hand to hand, or maybe something else like make some noise or open a door or pick something up from the ground. So that's it. That's basically what you're going to be doing on your turn. You're going to say, all right, you're going to move there, you're going to search, and then you're going to move there. You're going to go there, open the door, and then move inside. And unfortunately, you can't hit the zombie, which is just spawned there. And that's it. That's the player's turns. And then on the zombies' turns, once all the players have exhausted, the zombies will do the same thing. They will all advance to the space where the most noise is, or if they see a human, a hero, they will move 1 space towards it, unless they are a runner or unless they are dogs, which move 3 spaces. And so the zombies do have action points in a sense. So like I said, a runner will have 2 action points, so they will move twice. But if they're in a space with a hero, they will chomp down twice, or move 1 space and then chomp down on a hero in that space. And so you can calculate where to go, what to do, and when to do it, depending on where the zombies are and what type of zombies they are. So in our case, we play with an expansion which is the dogs, the zombie dogs and the companion dogs, which is quite easy. And again, I've integrated all this in the base game. Now the base game, this is just one of the base games, there's 3 of them. You see the other ones around. But yeah, even just in the base game, there's quite a lot of zombies, quite a lot of scenarios, and quite a lot of components to keep you occupied. Each hero has their own powers, which will get better as you go on and kill more zombies, but also you may be limited to those heroes. Most of the heroes, I mean, there's about 100 or so I've got. That's a slight exaggeration, but there's about 50 odd heroes. But they all seem to have like the same kind of thing, where it's like they have this special skill, sniper or medic or whatever. But that can be unlocked. And then they just have these little bonuses of like you get an extra attack, or you can add an extra dice to your attack. Yeah, it's very, very kind of subtle power expansions, but it makes the game interesting. Evolving your hero into a better version of themselves is something that players like to do. Okay, which power shall I have? Oh, I'll have this one. Oh, now I can do this. And that's great in a game like this. But as I might have said a bit earlier in the video, the zombies come in bigger hordes. You're going to be drawing zombie cards, which basically, if you're level 0 to 1, there's not many of them. But once you're in a level 9 to 18 or whatever it is, that's it. They become a bit more ferocious and nasty, and they're going to spawn in different places, and probably spawn in places where you don't want them to spawn. And that's the puzzle solving aspect. And as I said, you're working cooperatively together with your other players to try and achieve your objectives and get to the end. This is great. It feels nice. The games don't seem to go too long. Basically, from the base game scenarios, they don't go on too long. But if you have like a compendium book, which we are now working through now, you might find that some of those scenarios go a bit longer than an hour, maybe into the 2-hour zone. Now, we play with some of the expansions, not all of the expansions. I haven't introduced all the types of zombies. I've only been introducing the grey ones, not the toxic ones, not the seeker ones, none of those. But after reading the rules on them the other day, all of them, they are just slight ameliorations, slight changes to the game. So they will probably change how we play the game and how we plan in strategy and watch what's going on, which I think will be fun now because we are quite kind of comfortable in our approach. That's a drawback to the game. You're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to be starting with a level 0 hero with a basic crappy weapon, and then you're going to go into a building, hold off a few meager zombies while you search for better weapons before going to your location once you've got some good weapons and doing your objective. Then going to the next objective location. Maybe it's searching in different buildings. Maybe it's just getting something and putting it somewhere else. And then that's it. It's kind of rinse and repeat. There's no campaign. There's no like, okay, we're going to play this scenario, then this scenario, and this scenario, and carry over your character with all the stuff that they've got. None of that. It's like every scenario, you start from scratch. You rinse and repeat. As I said, I've played 18 times, and it's still not boring. One thing that stops me putting this game on the table more often is the setup and takedown time. Before it was not so good, but now I've built my own like foam core bits and pieces which holds the cards, it holds the components, it holds the zombies, so the zombies are sorted all the time, and the heroes as well. It's a piece of cake, but it still does take up a lot of time, and it still, even if you play just the base game, will take up a lot of room because these hero cards are quite big. Then you need your zombie cards, your item cards, and then you need to place the boards out. You might do like a 6x2 grid, or some of the scenarios might do 3x3. Did I say 6x2? No, it's not 6x2. There's 6 tiles, which is 2x3, and then 3x3, which is 9 tiles. And that does take up quite a bit of this Watson here, with your characters, with a box full of zombies that you can add to the board. Yeah. Another minor drawback is the doors. The doors are just tiles placed on the board. And at the beginning of the game, yeah, it looks neat. Some of them can't be seen. And then later on in the game, some of them are going to get knocked and moved somewhere else. And that can be a little of a hindrance. But in general, most of the tokens, like the car tokens, the search tokens, the little crosses, they all seem to, they're easy to see and they move. But you can put them back because you know where they went. The doors, you have to go back to the scenario and look it up and go, okay, it goes there, not in that room, that room. In regards to the rules, we play it a little different. My friend Guillaume told me that in the second edition, they've changed the rules for when you're shooting in a zone where there are other survivors. And so I've adopted that into the game. Because in the base game, basically, if you're shooting in a zone with heroes and zombies, the other heroes will take the wounds first. And then once they're dead, it will then go on to the lowest zombie before going up to the highest zombie. What we play is a version of the second edition, which is any ones or twos, but we just play any ones that you roll while shooting in a zone with heroes and zombies will hit the hero, not a zombie. Which I think is a nicer thing. I think 2 and 1 is a bit hardcore, especially for a younger player. But obviously if you're playing with a group of adults who can take it, then yes. There are also some other things that you can do in the expansions that they have, and in the different versions as well, that can make the game more friendly for younger families. So for example, we have a zombie hero mode. So if one of your heroes gets eaten by a zombie, they can be turned into a zombie hero and be like a tank on the board. They basically can take 5 damage from zombies and shotguns and whatever, instead of 2 damage like your heroes can. They have slightly different powers, they're slightly slower, but they just have, they have slightly different powers, like a rotten power, but they become tanks. They still move slightly slower, but that's the fun of it, is figuring out this puzzle. How do we do this? One of the simple things to do in adopting this game is to make sure that players keep their heroes at the same kind of level, so they kill the same amount of zombies. Because what will happen is, if one player starts killing zombies left, right and center, they jump in a car, for example, because using a car and driving down the street is an easy way to clean out roads and roads of zombies, which is great and thematic and fun. But if that player all of a sudden jumps from a level 1 to a level 27 with XP, you're all of a sudden getting a shed load more of zombies on the board each turn, and the other players might not be able to cope because they still have 3 actions, not 4 actions, and not 2 special powers, only 1. And again, they might not have the equipment that they need to do whatever they got to do. Talking about equipment, there's quite a nice selection of equipment cards that you can pick up. Some of them are, they spawn a zombie right next to you, which is nice. It's a nice surprise. It's like, which again can lead into your strategy of playing. Do you take your actions and then search as your last action? And if it's the last hero to activate and it turns out to be a zombie, you're gonna get bitten. Or do you plan to search first, then if it is a zombie, then you got 2 actions or 3 actions to kill it. So that you know, you do adapt your little kind of techniques on how you play. Do you push your luck, or do you play it safe? But the items, there's a bucket load of them, and again, there's probably about 80 different cards there, with different guns and weapons. Some useful stuff like nails, which you can put in a baseball bat if you have a baseball bat, and then you can make a nailed baseball bat. And then you have some other items like food, which are not useful. But then again, the reverse of that is when we did a scenario where we had to find 3 food or something like that. We were searching and searching, and we were finding nothing because there were so many cards. And for some reason, the food got shuffled into one section and not another section. So that made that kind of scenario really, really impossible. I think that was like one of the ones that we lost at. So again, having all these cards is cool, but at the same time, if you're doing a mission like that, it can be a hindrance. And again, finding really cool weapons like the ultra red weapons, again, it's another expansion kind of addition added to the game which you can play. You can end up finding a bucket load of those, but none of your heroes are tough enough to port them. So basically the ultra red is an extra addition of the game. So when a character levels up to the top level, they basically reset there, they keep the powers that they've collected, and then they carry on going. But they can use these super powerful weapons, which will do a lot of damage and make cleaning up the board a simple test of just like Thanos, clicking your fingers. Yeah, I did say fingers, not thumbs. Something I forgot to mention, which I think is very important, and while I was editing, I was like, oh, I need to mention that, is these noise tokens. Noise tokens are what happens every time you use a certain weapon. Some weapons make noises, some don't. But when you do use one, you need to place a noise token on the board. And during the course of the game, you're going to place a lot of these noise tokens on the board. Your characters also count as a noise token. So wherever your characters are, that's where there is noise. And this is part of the programmation and part of the cool part of the AI of the game, is the zombies will automatically go towards the loudest part of the board, that square. So they will plan out their route, unless they see a human directly in the path. And I like this. This works really well. But the thing is, sometimes you may forget to place a noise token, and this is one of those little finicky things which comes with the game. And we still play like this, even though in the second edition it's the last noise apparently that was made is the point of the noisiest point of the board where the zombies will go to. But I thought I'd just add this in, these noise tokens. It is a good idea, it works, but it is a bit fiddly and sometimes you can forget. Unless you build it into your conversation, like what we're doing at the moment. It's like, I'm using a weapon, I'm going to go bang, and oh, bang, oh, that's a noise, yeah. I'm going to go thud, and that's a noise. So I think I've waffled enough about the game. This is my cup of tea of a type of game. This is great. I really enjoy it. Playing just with the 7-year-old. I think I will love it playing it with a bunch of mates, all around the table with some nibbles and some drinks. This is like a film night. You get it out one night and you're watching Shaun of the Dead and you enjoy it and it's really funny and a good laugh. And then you want to play it the next night and then you're watching Zombieland. And then you want to play it the next night and you're watching Return of the Living Dead. So it's like, it is basically that. It's like doing a zombie fest film, horror film, comedy film every night on your table. I'm so chuffed with this game that I did actually back the DC one because one, I'm a DC fan. I love Batman. And I love this game. Actually, I loved it so much. I managed to get a copy of the Monty Python characters, which I haven't played with. I tried playing it with the 7-year-olds, but where it's kind of, they have unique powers which involve you knowing something about Monty Python or saying something Monty Python, and he doesn't speak a lot of English at the moment still. I want to introduce that into this game, but also probably introduce it into the DC game, because it'd be quite funny to watch the Spanish Inquisition take on a zombified version of Superman. Yeah, this game, let's go highlight over it. Components, great. Artwork, nice. Although the doors do get lost on the board. Components, too many, takes up a lot of space, which is a slight negative. Setup time is a slight negative. Components are good. It's great to have zombies and the heroes. They look great. They're all kind of caricatures of heroes and actors and that you know from the screen, which is funny as well. You know, you've got your the Big Bang Theory, you've got your Shaun of the Dead characters, you've got what's his name, Anchorman, Will Ferrell. It's fun. You've even got Monsieur Fall, which is a French was a French YouTuber on board games, very big. He's retired. He's relaxing. But yeah, if you like a popcorn film about zombies, you're going to enjoy a popcorn board game about zombies. I like Last Night on Earth, but it's competitive, and it feels like a kind of traditional kind of George Romero zombie film, whereas this feels like a Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland board game version of those games. If any of that makes any sense to you, then this game is probably for you. If not, then this game is not really for you. And I'm surprised that I didn't think this game would be for me, and I didn't think I'd like it this much, but I actually do. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more. And as I said, playing with a group of adult friends one evening with a soundtrack on, obviously, and having a good laugh. So there you go. That's what I think of Zombicide and what my impressions are of it now. If you found this video interesting, give it a like. If you know someone that might find this video interesting, share it with them. And if you have any questions about the game or my inserts or whatever, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. And until next time, I'll just say, play nice with each other and remember that it's only a board game.
Just sitting at the table.